Have you been told you need to wear your glasses for the rest of your life? What if there was a natural way to correct your vision? My name is Amish Aban and I'm a natural health educator. So I'm here today in this video series. I'm trying to educate you about your other alternative to improve your vision, which is a natural way to improve your eyesight. Is there such a thing? So about 100 years ago, there was an ophthalmologist. His name was Dr. Bates. And he discovered, after treating tens of thousands of eyes, that yes, there is a natural way to improve your vision. Why haven't you heard about that? That's a different story. Before I get started, let me clear two things out. First off, I'm not an eye doctor. I'm not a doctor to begin with. The second thing I want you to do is that I'm not against any medical procedure to correct your vision. Back to my story. I wore those glasses for 15 years. And of course, as we all know, every time you go for a new checkup, they keep getting worse. I started depending more on my glasses. So at some point in my life, I used to wear them full time. And it just occurred to me that how come our body heals itself naturally if you have a broken bone or if you cut yourself, it's just a matter of time, or sometimes just go for some treatment. How about the eyes? And this is the exact question that Bates asked himself about 100 years ago. And he spent 4 years trying and experimenting and proving that this can be done. And what he did, he developed a sequence of techniques and activities and habits so you can implement on your daily basis to correct your vision naturally. And the success was outstanding to a point where he had to publish his first book, Perfect Eyesight Without Glasses, or later, Better Eyesight Without Glasses. And he laid all his research and findings in that book. Of course, some of the medical institutions in that time went against them, especially they were threatening the glasses industry. That's another story I don't want to highlight now. But going back to this way, I applied it myself a couple of years ago, and most recently I incorporated these habits more effectively, and I was able to pass my driver license test without needing glasses. And this was the first time in 15 years. With that said, I learned these techniques and I'm here today to share them with you. Vision is just one of our senses, and it just occurs that the brain registers all the signals without any efforts. Example, smelling, hearing, tasting. Do you try to make any efforts to smell or taste? Most likely not. The brain is able to register these signals and interpret it. But when it comes to eyesight, we get to a point in our life where we have stressors or some underlying cause. What happens is we try to see, and once you try to see, the whole system gets disturbed and you get worse with time. And then guess what? You go to the doctor and they put the glasses and they tell you keep them for the rest of your life. So Bates asked himself, how comes when we broke our limb, we use crutches for some time to help ourselves get by while the body is healing itself, and once it heals, we go to a physical therapist to try to retrain and regain function for that area? How come the eyes are not treated the same? And that was one of the trigger questions for Bates to answer. Interestingly enough, the glasses are just dealing with the symptoms. So you don't see clearly. What they do is they put these two lenses, and what they do is refract the light rays so it can land in the focal point where you see clearly, which is genius. But what it is not trying to do is not helping your eyes recover their main function, which is natural vision. So the Bates method deals with the root cause of why do you have eyesight issue to begin with. If you take sample balloons that resemble our eyeballs, so Bates discovered that certain muscles surrounding the eye can change its length by squeezing too much or maybe twisting and so on. And the main idea is if we can let go of this tension and relax, we can regain the round shape of the sphere of the eyeball. And if you regain that, you can see clearly again. And if you apply good vision habits, you should maintain clear vision for the rest of your life. So the Bates method is going for the underlying cause. And to his surprise, some of the root causes were not only physical, like a bad vision habits, like staring too much or something. No, but it was emotional. So at some point, maybe kids or younger adults when they get to college, get too much stress, or they're struggling to study, they start developing bad habits, and this tension surrounding the eyes will just increase. And they go to their eye doctors and they put glasses. What the glasses do is they encourage the muscles surrounding the eyes to keep this pressure so you can see 20/20, since they corrected at this tension. Instead, the Bates method is trying to let go of this tension and try to regain natural vision habits. So in this series, I will go over the principles that Bates lay in his book. He talks about movement, centralizing, fusing, diverging the eyes, and so on. So I will go over all those techniques with you in this video series, and I will try my best to cover all your questions. This method worked for me and it worked for the client I work with and the people I teach workshops to, and it should work for you if you dedicate time. Just to be clear, this is not a quick fix thing, and it will require some dedication and time. We are trying to relax the visual cortex so it can interpret the picture coming from your eyes more clearly. So the Bates method is trying to relax the mind and the eyes so they can communicate better and see clearly. So the Bates method is just like a rehabilitation for your eyes. It might sound hard to believe at the beginning, but once you try applying these concepts, the proof is you would start seeing clearly. The most interesting thing that we found that after applying some of these techniques, people start seeing clear flashes. So what that means is without wearing their glasses, they can see better for a short period of time. And our goal with this Bates principles and techniques is to prolong those clear flashes. So instead of a couple of seconds, maybe a couple of minutes or a couple of hours. And once you implement the good habits, those clear flashes will just go longer since you are not forcing your eyes to see. Remember, vision should be effortless. Once you try to see, it's just like squeezing more on your eyeballs. So applying these techniques, those of you who wear glasses for reading, and for those who can't see at distance, nearsighted, will be able to regain function so they can see clearly without the need for glasses. In the next episode, I will share more about these techniques and we will dive deeper into all of them. I'm sharing all of this online with you guys so you can take advantage of. My promise to you is not to sell you anything, but if you need faster results, of course you need to work with someone who has more experience. It's just like going to a gym. If you hire a personal trainer, you'll achieve your goal faster. Same applies to changing your diet. Working with your nutritionist or dietitian will help you eliminate the guesswork. So one misconception we need to clear is Bates method is not about doing an eye exercises like a physical eye exercises and getting your eyes more tense. No, actually they're all about letting go and learning new habits. So once you apply those good habits, only then you'll be able to see clearly without the need for glasses. A good analogy I like to use is just like riding a bike. If you ask any person, how do you balance while riding a bike? Most people will tell you, well, we don't think about it. It just happens. This is the ultimate goal of natural vision. If you ask any person with a perfect eye, well, how do you see clearly? They will say, yeah, we don't try. It just happens. So only when you implement these good habits so you can let go of trying to see, only then you'll be able to see clearly. So one thing you can experiment with is to, whenever safe, take off your glasses and just try to befriend the blur. So be okay with not seeing clearly for some time and don't strain, don't put too much efforts. In the next episodes, I promise that I will go deeper. We'll be able to understand these techniques and we understand the underlying cause of your vision issue. And we will understand why we strain to begin with. So taking off your glasses is the first step to gain independent and retrust your eyes. You might feel skeptical at the beginning, and I was very skeptical when I first started. But trust me, once you implement these techniques and learn good vision habits, it just becomes second nature. And you don't think about it and you start seeing clearly once and for all. And actually, it might sound counterintuitive, but you don't need to verify this with anyone. Once you start seeing clearly, this is the ultimate proof for yourself. Just keep watching this video series where I cover all the topics that Bates covered.